8 out of 10 cats. It's not Gavin or Stacy, it's James Corden. He's big down under, Jim Jeffries. And their team captain, Sean Locke. And facing them tonight, TV's most dangerous critic, Charlie Brooker. She's got balls of steel, Olivia Lee. And their team captain, Jason Manford. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, there are 759 pubs in Britain called the Red Lion? My favourite is the Red Lion. An eighth of all liposuction patients are now in a bin round the back of the hospital. And in Sweden, an average of 10 car crashes a day involve the death of a moose, which is why the Swedes are such a good-looking race. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. Sean, Jim, James, what have the nation been talking about?
Is it the tragic tale of the Madonna and Guy Ritchie divorce?
Were you just wiping away a tear?
Yeah,
Sean?
a tear. That's turned out to be quite acrimonious.
She said she came out and said that he always belittle her in front of people. Last night, she played to 28,000 people in Vancouver and called him a retard.
No, emotionally retarded.
An emotional retard. Right, that's 28,000 people and like a few mates down the pub, just because she probably said, I'm an actress, and they all just pissed themselves laughing.
Part of the problem is her cabal of faith. Like, in her house, she's banned Christmas. I was thinking, she's called Madonna, right? That's like Captain Birdseye banning fish.
I don't understand the bitterness that people were displaying. Like, everybody's rubbing their hands together with glee because they're splitting up. Oh, look at them, they enjoyed 7 years of marriage, the failures. All the relationships I've had only last as long as it takes us to pass a reasonable-looking or even just clean man on the street, and then they're off clawing desperately at his back. So I just find it quite sad.
Well, don't go out with cats. You perverts.
Are you a fan of his work, the Guy Ritchie?
Yeah, I just find it odd that every Guy Ritchie film that comes out has on the poster, Ritchie back to his best, which, you know, was just sort of above average. In the new film, it's all like, what is it about to be a rock and roller? I don't shiver git.
It bothers me that she's a mum, and if you look at all her recent videos, she's always in knickers, and we get it. OK, you work out, you've got a good body. Pants, put a little skirt on, perhaps, a pair of shorts.
I think for her age, she still looks quite fit. She is 80, isn't she?
I think she should come on in an orange. Just her little hands and arms, like a promotion. You know, like when they promote a new drink and someone dresses up as an orange? Yeah. Why doesn't she have a bit of fun, have a laugh with it now? Yeah. Madonna's orange tour, she just comes out in an orange. Rolls around and goes
For the encore, she comes out as like a hot dog.
Yeah.
Voguing in it.
Yeah. A banana, face in a banana.
OK, let's see if Madonna and Guy Ritchie are one of the most talked about things this week. This is the continuing story of Madonna and Guy Ritchie's divorce. They used to have great nights out down the pub. Old, peculiar, bitter. Just 3 reasons why he chose to divorce her. OK, Jason, Olivia and Charlie, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it the government releasing these UFO files or Operation Keep Everyone's Mind Off the Economy? Apparently, we're being visited by 11,000 UFOs or something. Only 5% are actually unidentified flying objects. The rest are like planes and stuff like that. And I think they can be sort of whittled down to 5% of people are mental. Yeah. There was one bloke who spotted a UFO land on a bypass in Somerset, right? It landed. 2 figures got out, dressed in black, and one of them checked the engine. Who is flying at light speeds to get here? One of them's gone, oh, cam belt's gone.
People never spot these things in, like, London.
Yeah.
Or Paris or anywhere where people are generally looking up at great things. Like, there's always someone looking up at the Eiffel Tower. and there's never been a single thing. It's always like Norwich. The only people they seem to target are people that are a bit weird with really shit camera equipment.
I've been abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
We all
Loads
have.
of times. I had to take out a restraining order. I put it up on my bedroom door. I heard them come upstairs and go...
What happened when you were abducted?
They said, do you know, where's Jimmy Carr live? We want to bring him home.
Let's have a look and see if UFOs are one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this week the Ministry of Defence have released files about past UFO sightings. I didn't want to admit I'd seen a UFO in case I was branded a nutter, said one nutter. Sean? Jim, James, what else have the nation been talking about?
The American election?
This week, Colin Powell came out in support of Barack Obama, didn't he? Which was quite unusual because Barack's a Democrat and Colin's a Republican. So...
Sarah Palin, isn't it? That's her name,
yeah,
the woman.
yeah.
The more right-wing she gets, the more attractive I'm starting to find her. Is that wrong? Like a sexy Hitler.
Isn't a sexy Hitler you, Jimmy?
I do not really get the joke.
Do you really find her attractive, though?
No, truly.
People say they find her attractive, but I think it would be like sticking your dick into a swirling vortex of hate.
That's what I want in a wife.
Last time you came on, you were sexually aroused by Barack Obama.
The whole... I am so into the election, I'm Sky Plus in the debates.
Yeah. I think a lot of the politics, James, is going over your head, though.
Charlie, you presumably watch an unimaginable amount of TV. Have you watched the debates?
I did watch the debates. I watched the debates on CNN, which was mesmerising, because they had a little voter approval graph at the bottom, which was like a wobbly line hooked up to some Ohio voters, and they twist a dial. If one of them said something they'd like, they'd twist a dial up, and if they didn't like it, they'd twist it down. So there's this wobbly line going. And all you did was end up staring at the line. And then I was kind of thinking it would be nice if people had those approval graphs on their heads when you were talking to them, so you could tell if they were interested in what you were saying or not. And then I realised that's basically facial expressions.
Well, incredibly, it's not one of the most talked about things this week. It's been in the news a lot, but not one of the most talked about. The US election campaign continues. John McCain has a purple heart from his days in the army. He also has a purple face and shooting pains up his left arm. If McCain wins, he says he'll start with a clean sheet, which he'll cut 2 eye holes in and then pop over his head. OK, Jason, back over to you. What else have the nation been talking about?
Well, we think it might be Omar Bakri slagging off the X Factor. He says it's against Islam.
That's because the auditions are held at Mecca, but he thinks it's the city, not the bingo hall. He's got a bit mixed up. I think he should approve of Danny Minogue, because she, in a way, is kind of wearing a burqa, isn't he? Yeah. If you look at her face, the only thing that moves is her eyes. It's like she's wearing a flesh burqa. She does, she just sits there and goes... Nothing moves. Even when she talks, her lips don't move. The thing I really don't like about the X Factor is when they do... You know, they do the same songs over and over again, so people do, like, unique interpretations of songs, don't they? So someone will go, I believe children of future... And you know, they do stuff like that with the song. And I think,
stop it, Sean.
Stop it. I don't like the song anyway. You're taking something I hate and making it worse.
I don't like the little 4-year-old boy who's wandered on by mistake. The one who looks like... he looks like a fetus. He looks like a fetus of Jamie Oliver. They've been growing in a bag and they've accidentally let him out and now he's singing about his bloody problems.
That's what they should do with the X Factor now, because he's put a fatwa on the show, right? So I just say, execute the next person that's voted off, and then we'll just call it quits. Because when they're gone, they're dead to us anyway. If JLS go this Saturday, I won't mind if they're shot.
You could have a record contract. You, not great news.
Maybe Al-Qaeda have just caught on to the fact that to get any publicity in this country, you have to attach yourself to celebrity. They've realised, they've thought to themselves, well, obviously, that's the only way we're going to get any attention if we have a go at celebrities. I wouldn't be surprised if soon Osama bin Laden is releasing his own fragrance in time for Christmas. It's called, like, Infidel. Infidel. It only comes in 50ml bottles, so you can take it on a plane.
Let's have a look and see if Bakri's attack on the X Factor is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, well, this is the story that fundamentalist Omar Bakri has attacked X Factor for being anti-Muslim. Talent shows have already had a fatwa. Rick Waller, he was a right fatwa. OK, fingers on buzzers. What else have the nation been talking about? Sean.
George Osborne he's got himself into trouble because when Peter Mandelson was brought back into the government, he released some sort of comments that Peter Mandelson had made, private comments.
He said he's been dripping poison, I believe, about Gordon Brown.
In response, Nat Rothschild has said that he was trying to solicit donations from a Russian billionaire, the richest man in Russia, which every Russian seems to be.
He said he met him twice and on this fella's yacht, but he never asked him for money, he said, which I think is fair enough, isn't it? I mean, you've met somebody twice and you're on their yacht. How do you even slip it like, oh, what's its top speed? Oh, brilliant. How many does it sleep like? Can I have 50 grand? Like, that in?
I feel sorry for the Russian. He's a billionaire. He's got a beautiful yacht moored in a beautiful harbour. He wakes up in the morning, tells his butler, he goes, well, what's on the itinerary today? He goes, well, we've got Peter Mandelson, George Osborne coming on board. Are you serious? I want supermodels.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson and some floss.
And maybe a little dab of MDMA.
I didn't even know what an oligarch was. I thought it was a sort of sea cow.
What is it?
I still don't.
It's like the body of a lion with a horse's head. Let's see if it's up there. Yes, the most talked about story of the week. Fingers on buzzers, one more to get. What else have the nation been talking about? Jason.
Is it the pilot who's been accused of being drunk on the passenger jet and he was taken off by police? I thought I'd love to have been there, because police are always a little bit smart-arsed, aren't they? You know, and they're arresting someone like, step out of the plane, sir. It's your plane, is it? Do you know what speed you were doing? 600 mile an hour. Yeah, I know.
They're all making a hoo-ha out of it. It's automatic. All he's got to do is press a button. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
It's trickier than that.
You can't even work straighteners.
I did this with straighteners, actually.
GHD?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you get the new ones?
The new
Oh, my
pink
God.
ones.
The new pink ones are amazing, aren't they?
All right, got one. Come on, Jimmy.
I think this is a sad story, because you just think to yourself, is there nothing you can drive when you're pissed? Is this what it's come to? You can't drive a car, you can't fly a plane, a boat, a bicycle. I mean, what is there left for us?
Well, let's have a look and see whether this pilot is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story. United Airlines pilot was arrested on suspicion of being drunk. Despite the pilot being arrested and taken off the aircraft, the flight still ended in disaster as they landed on schedule in Faliraki. At the end of that round, Sean's team have 2 points, Jason's team have 3 points. Our next round is called Pick of the Polls. Sean? Jim, James, what do you like the look of?
What do you like the look of?
I like the man that's had 2 arms put on.
The man with the arms.
It's been announced that the world's first double arm transplant is recovering well, so we polled our studio audience and asked them, if you lost an arm, would you rather have a robotic arm or someone else's as a replacement?
This is the guy he had in Germany, didn't he? He had 2 arms transplanted on.
But didn't he lose his arms in a shredder?
Yeah, he's a farmer.
Yeah, how do you lose 2 arms? Like, the one arm go in and you go, oh, I better get that back. Oh, now look what I've done.
Wouldn't it be a bit like sawing a leg off a chair? Like, he lost a few fingers and then he thought that doesn't even out, so I'll just shove a bit more of this arm in.
Guy, when he recovers, he can do things like he can just go bang, hit someone in the face.
Not
go,
me.
Not me. Wasn't me. Apparently, the guy was a nutter.
God, I'd find it so strange if I was going out with a guy and he was, you know, getting a bit busy, romancing, and he just said, you know, these aren't my hands.
What if, though, Olivia, he was getting busy in the bedroom, you're getting a bit amorous, things are getting heated, he pulls away, the arm stays. The alternative for this guy, as opposed to getting someone else's arms, robotic arms.
If I did get a robot arm, I'd want it not to be just like a claw, like an Abu Hansa. I'd want it to have, like, Swiss Army knife functions. I'd like a bottle opener, a corkscrew.
He wants a frying pan there and a whisk.
So, we polled the audience. We asked them, would you rather have someone else's arm or a robotic arm? What do you think they said? What are you going to go with?
I think people would like a real arm.
You think real?
Yeah.
No, because the robotic works right away, but I'll take real if that's what you two want.
Real. It's real.
You're overruling your team.
Yeah,
saying real.
yeah.
OK, I can tell you 75% of our audience said they wanted a robotic arm. If I lost both my arms, I'd probably just shrug it off. Jason, Charlie and Olivia, what do you like the look of?
We'll go with the Scouts.
OK, you're going with the Scouts? This week it was announced that the Scouts are to be given sex education, so we polled the studio audience and asked them, should they be given sex education?
Maybe it's being taught ironically, like, if you weren't in the Scouts, this is what you'd be having, you know what I mean? This is what all the kids your age are doing while you're, you know, making fires and crying yourself to sleep in a tent.
This is what you could have won.
No, yeah. We're looking forward to seeing the first Scout with a fingering badge.
I used to be in the Scouts. In the handbook, they used to say, because Baden-Powell didn't approve of sex, that wasn't what... Baden-Powell's the guy who invented Scouts, in case you're missing it. And he said, if you feel like having sex, put your genitals in cold water and walk it off.
And then come to my room?
Yeah.
OK. We polled the studio audience and asked them, should the Scouts be given sex education?
Yes.
I think they look like a modern bunch.
OK, well, I can tell you that you're absolutely right. 81% of our audience think that the Scouts should be given sexual education. So, Scouts, in summary, a man has a gingang goody watcher and it produces gingang goo. So at the end of that round, Sean, James and Jim have 2 points, Jason, Charlie and Olivia have 4 points. The next round is Believe It or Not. Let's have a look at a clip to illustrate the statistic.
Nobody can tell me anything. I don't read Daily Mirror and so on. I go and have a look. And I've lived in the forests of North America, I've lived in the outback of the Ivory Coast, I've lived in India and Russia. I had my breakfast in Moscow and my tea in Wood Street, Nick. Yeah, I've been about a bit. I'm the only man in the history of mankind that has swum across the Straits of Johor. Nobody's ever done it before, not because of the currents or anything like that, nothing like that. It's sharks. It's not shark infested. But none of the locals go paddling. Yeah, I swum in. I know about sharks, yeah. I'm 6'3" and 16 stone, 200 weight, yeah. I know how to do them. You punch them right in the fucking ear hole and they swim out.
That was my dad. So don't mess with me, he's pretty hard. That was former boxer Paul Sykes there, talking about his life.
He's never left the north, that bloke, has he? No way. He punched a shark in the ear. He said, are sharks famous for their ears? Have they got massive ears? I don't recall seeing a shark. Ooh, all right.
Sometimes those amazing stories are true. Like, the time I was at a fun fair, I was on a roller coaster, and it was going down towards a tunnel. A guy stood up, right? His head was sliced off, right? And his eyes came off and landed on my ice cream. And that is... There's no exaggeration.
The related question is, 40% of people admit they regularly exaggerate to make their lives seem more interesting. True or false?
No,
True. Not that I'm suggesting for a moment Paul Sykes was exaggerating.
What I do, if someone tells me a story, I apply something called the exaggeration rate. So if someone said to me, like, I was on a speedboat and I had sex with Beyonce, I'd look at them, you know, for example, it was Charlie told me that story, I'd say probably what happened to Charlie was he was on a bus and he waved at Maura Stewart. So there would be...
That's my best anecdote.
60%.
You think that's 60% true?
See, for example, I have a Nobel Prize in scaffolding. Now, apply the exaggeration rate, you get the truth. I've got a spanner.
Do you exaggerate?
No, I'm a terrible, terrible liar. I was once going out with a girl, and after 2 weeks, she was talking to me about something, and I wasn't listening. And
of course you weren't listening. Some bird talking at you.
Well, and she got upset. So I told her that I was deaf in one ear. As a lie, and it's true. And I ended up going out with her for 7 years, and I could never find the right moment to explain to her that I wasn't deaf in one ear.
You should have waited for her to, like, slam the door and then go, oh, God, you fixed it! Just one day.
Where were you? Sometimes you have to exaggerate, right? When I was at school, I had this I had a bet with this guy at a school called Andy that I could get on Richard and Judy's phone-in, right, on This Morning. Never happened until the golden day, which was one of them brilliant days where we couldn't go into school because it had been snowing. The phone-in was on bullying. So I rang in, spoke to the first woman, and I said, oh, I'm being bullied. And she said, oh, should you be at school now? And I went, yeah, I'm playing truant. I just can't bear to go in. OK, someone will call me back. Then Denise, you remember Denise?
Yeah.
She called me back and she spoke to me on the phone. Stay on the line, you're the first caller on the show. And ended up talking to Richard and Judy all about how much I was being bullied. Right? And by the time I'm on air, I'm laying it on so thick, I start to almost cry on the phone. The thing is, Richard, all I want to do is a school play, but I haven't got the confidence. And he said, let me tell you something, James. You ringing in today is braver than any of them bullies do, and we, for one, are proud of you. I said, that means the world to me. Biggest lie I ever told.
40% of people admit regularly exaggerating to make their lives seem more interesting. True or false?
True, we think it's true.
You're going to go true. What are you going to go with?
False.
You're going to go false, OK. I can tell you the answer is false. Only 16% of people exaggerate to make their lives seem more interesting.
Yeah, but
I'd never exaggerate to make my life seem more interesting, as I was telling my dinner guests last night. Sue Pollard and Rusty Lee. So at the end of that round, it's 2 points for Sean's team and 5 points to Jason's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Britain's biggest annoyance.
Is it... well, it's either Jeremy Carl's face or Jeremy Carl's voice. The man, the voice, the face, the prick. That's what I call him.
What my mum does, which is this, so you talk to me, just say anything, and this is what my mum does.
Oh, hello, James, how are you doing? You all right, No, he's incredibly annoying. Could not be more.
That's my biggest annoyance, is my mum doing that. So I imagine that's probably Britain's.
I'll tell you what's annoying. That little paperclip bastard who comes up on Microsoft Word. You look like you're writing a letter.
Is it Australian immigrants? Well, I'm just hated everywhere I go.
That might be more to do with you.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer. Is it when you're in the bath and the phone goes and you get out of the bath and when you get down there, there's always a little pause, and then he starts, "Good afternoon. You have won a prize."
You're absolutely right. That's the right answer. Yes, Britain's biggest annoyance is cold callers. I got a cold caller yesterday. It was my nan begging me to pay her heating bill. Next question. Most offensive thing on TV.
Is it Country File?
Is it Super Nanny? Because she can't fly, she hasn't got a cape. If all Superman had was bad diction and a naughty step, I don't think it'd be such a big deal, wouldn't it?
Acceptable. Acceptable. Oh.
I know what you find offensive on TV, because you've told me it's those Nazi documentaries when they show all the camps, because you were telling me about how it's all faked. And you had all those pamphlets you were giving me and all those links to websites where like-minded individuals discuss it.
Yeah.
He's always on about it, isn't he?
Yeah. Fighting and punching.
I'll give you that. It's violence on TV. It's the most offensive thing.
Yeah.
Third on the list was sex. Well, if you don't like sex on TV, you could always turn over, do it on the minibar. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, James and Jim have 3 points. Jason, Charlie and Olivia are the winners with 6 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Vegas, it's Johnny Vegas. News guru, Krishnan Guru Murthy. And their team captain, Jason Manford. And facing them tonight, in the thick of it, Chris Addison. She's 10 years younger, it's Nikki Hamilton-Jones. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 46% of women spend over an hour a day gossiping? At least that's what Judy at the Royal Association of Statisticians told Marlene at the National Audit Office. Cheerleading accounts for 54% of all injuries in American high schools. Oh dear, I seem to have broken your hymen. And the average person loses 50% of their taste buds by the time they're 60, so it is okay for your nana to live on cat food. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation, and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. Jason, Johnny and Krishnan, what have the nation been talking about this week?
Do you reckon, boys?
This must be those appalling phone calls from Jonathan Ross and Russell Brand.
Have they been calling you again, Krishnan?
Yeah.
What are you wearing, Krishnan?
To that
Manuel.
Fawlty Towers actor. Yeah.
It's not like Andrew Sachs could have been terribly surprised to hear this news. If you have a granddaughter who is between 20 and 25, it is statistically more likely than not that Russell Brand has fucked her.
One of the reasons people are offended is also the granddaughter, you know. And regardless of the fact that she was in the Satanic Sluts, whatever, it's his image of his granddaughter.
That's the lady in question.
I wonder if she's actually wearing a T-shirt and it's a mirror and she's about to get attacked by Frankenstein.
I would, but I'd do a bit of foreplay. I'd get to take my bins out first.
What I found quite interesting about it was how did he know that she was Andrew Sachs's granddaughter? I've never had sex with anybody and during the act have gone, so what's your granddad do for a living? Oh, right. Oh, bloody hell, because you don't look like him. And nobody's brought up, right, in the old days, Andrew Sachs was abused. Look at the way he used to get treated by John Cleese. He used to knock 7 bells of shit out of the poor little fella. And we just went, ha, 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 ha. Poke him in the eye, call him an idiot.
Hit him with a spoon, it was awful.
Because so much of our comedy is about humiliating people, would you instantly think that was outrageous and offensive and should lead to resignation?
Oh, shut up, you twat.
Or would you?
It's because it's Andrew Sachs. It's because it's a well-loved character.
It's a weird thing. You could name any celebrity from the 70s and we could say whether that'd be OK or not, based on how loved they are.
It's a new drinking game.
Cast of a lower low, not a problem. Fucked them all.
I've been thinking of phoning up David Attenborough saying, I've done one of your gorillas. It was nice.
I think it's odd that those two are celebrity friends. So Russell Brand and Jonathan Ross. One can't pronounce his R's, and the other one over-elaborates his R's, doesn't he? He's always Russell Brand on the radio. And I think that's weird. It's like having a mate with no legs. His best mate's with Michael Flatley. You know? All right, stop rubbing it in, mate.
I think maybe what they should do is say sorry and both of them get their hair cut. Go on, get your haircuts. Anyway, smarten yourself up. You long-haired layabouts.
Let's see if these prank phone calls are one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the most talked about thing this week. This is the story of Jonathan Ross and Russell Brand's prank calls to Andrew Sachs. It's really difficult for Jonathan Ross to say sorry. It's also difficult for him to say around the rugged rascal Brand. OK, Sean, Nikki, Chris, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
They've been talking about Prince Harry and his desire to fly a helicopter.
Yes. He's sort of chosen he wants to fly helicopters. In a way, the royals, they just do what they want. In a way, their life is like just one long episode of Jim Will Fix It.
It's a £46 million helicopter.
Yeah, the Apaches,
right?
yeah.
It loses about £6 million once you fly it off the forecourt. But it's a £46 million, and they're going to train a boy who had to cheat to get a C in GCSE art to fly it.
Yeah.
He probably couldn't draw one, could he? I think you should do something less predictable, though, right? And that's always the armed forces. I think you should do something, you know, like become a fireman or like a clamper. £60 fine, but I was clamped by Prince Harry.
I can tell you that Prince Harry is not one of the most talked about things this week.
Really?
Yeah, no, it has been in the news. This is the story that Prince Harry wants to train as an Apache helicopter pilot. Prince William was at the centre of a controversy earlier this year when he parked his chopper in Kate Middleton's back garden. Ah, young love. Right. Jason, Christian, Johnny, what else have the nation been talking about this week?
Is it these extreme marathon people who suffered extreme weather? You know?
What was that, Christian?
I can't bear this story. I had to do it on Sunday night, you know.
Yeah?
Well, it's your job reading the news. We all read the papers because we enjoy them. I can't bear this story. I had to read out what happened. Oh, they're running and then it rained. I hate it. Jon Snow gets all the good stories. I hate it.
You hear mountain marathon and you think, oh, you know, it's a bunch of athletes running up a hill. It's a bunch of old people hobbling up mountains. And then when we did the stories about how they were all washed away and didn't know what they were doing and got lost, they then got angry with us and saying, oh, no, you were making it up and we were all fine. And these stupid people, I just want to say to them, don't waste my time. I have had it with your stupid antics. The next time there's a weather storm, just don't call us.
Fair enough, yeah. That seems reasonable.
Can I just take a quick opportunity? I'd like to apologise on behalf of Channel 4 for any offence caused. I could give you this opportunity to resign. Would you like to resign? It's all the rage in the media. Go on, resign.
A bunch of very healthy people who can have whatever operation they want from the NHS, right, decide to go out and fucking try and kill themselves and cost us thousands of pounds in helicopter rescues and everything. I've had to drop 4 stone to get a new hip. Not by going up a mountain, I do it now. Just by cutting out pastry.
You managed to drop 4 stone by cutting out pastry. How much pastry were you eating?
I slept on a pastry bed.
And I
ate it every night. I went to bed in a big pie. I woke up in tears. Yeah, I wept gravy. You know.
I know the petty.
It doesn't sound that far-fetched. I can see your head poking out of a pie. Yeah. Like you're in a jacuzzi.
Nicky, do you think he looks 10 years younger?
Oh, look at Nicky. Nicky has no interest in me.
Looking good, Johnny. Your arms are really thin.
I've got a question for you, Nicky. I've been trying to get my wife to take part in your show, right, 10 years younger. Is it wrong that she's 22?
Yeah. You wanted to look too. Is that what you say?
No. 20 years younger. 12.
That'd be sick. I tell you what, that's sick. I'm just curious. I think... unfortunately, if the Channel 4 bosses are watching, I don't think we found Carol Vorderman's replacement.
Just to go back to this original mountain marathon, I think that mountain rescue sort of enjoy it, to be honest, because they're not a proper emergency service, are they? Like I will, you know, I will never need mountain rescue. I will never need them, I promise you.
Lad Brooks, if you're watching, 40 quid. I'm only saying it because I'm a friend.
I'll never need them. I'll never need the Coast Guard either. I'll never need the Coast... My emergency service, police, ambulance, fire engine, AA, Domino's. They're not proper.
I would like to apologise on behalf of Channel 4 for any offence caused to mountain rescue. Jason would like to resign. OK, let's see whether this extreme marathon is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, this is the story. Organisers of an extreme marathon face criticism for going ahead despite bad weather. With 100-mile-an-hour winds, horizontal rain and competitors suffering broken bones and hypothermia, it's thought that this year's event was the funniest there's ever been. OK, back over to you. Sean, what else are the nation be talking about?
I imagine it's the US elections which are coming...
It's next week, isn't it? It's exciting.
Yeah, on Tuesday, and the polls have generally put Obama ahead, but, you know, they say the polls, they're not sure about the polls. John McCain said he's gathering up. I'm not sure if he really wants to win, to be honest. You know, he's 72, right? You don't want to move house when you're 72.
Yeah.
I don't like moving the furniture to Hoover.
He did, in an effort to show that he's physically fit for this, he released 1,173 pages of medical records. If you've got 1,173 pages of medical records, you need to sit down.
We've got a clip of some ordinary Americans. Do you want to see what ordinary Americans think about the election? Have a look.
Yeah.
Al-Qaeda is dangerous. They're trying to kill us. And John McCain is the only guy that's even close to having the experience that's required to deal with them.
We don't vote for baby killers in this family, and Obama is a baby killer.
I'd hate to be that kid and have bedtime stories like that. The Al-Qaeda are trying to kill us. Night-night.
What do you think about the American election?
If Obama wins, we're going to flush out all the mad, stupid neo-Nazi skinheads who think you can kill a president by driving at him.
They were going to shoot him wearing white top hats.
Yeah.
What part of the plan? What part of the plan did that get involved in?
Well, you know what the problem was? They got a stylist.
What should we wear? White top hat!
Put it on the Ritz, motherfucker!
Whenever you see white supremacists, they're always in their kind of late teens, early 20s. They've always got a Nazi tattoo on them, and that has really put me off getting a Nazi tattoo.
OK, let's see if the US election is one of the most talked about things this week.
I think it is.
Yes, the US election campaign enters its final week. The election takes place on November the 4th, so expect some fireworks on November the 5th. Right, fingers on buzzers, what else has the nation been talking about?
Is it the James Bond film that's premiered today or tomorrow or yesterday?
Friday.
Let's not fall out over it. We're not invited. There's no gadgets in this one, is there?
No,
There's not many gadgets.
They're ripping off the Bourne Identity.
Yeah.
The Bourne Identity did it! It's James Bond. He should have an umbrella coming out of his ass. Sickening.
Nikki, are you looking forward to the Bond movie?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm not a big Daniel Craig fan.
You're not?
No, I just Bonds just shouldn't be blonde.
You shouldn't be blonde?
I see Bonds as being a bit more dark-haired and a bit more rugged.
A bit more dark-haired, a bit more rugged?
Yeah.
Well, Daniel Craig's from Liverpool. Well, he grew up on the Wirral, didn't he? I think, and he's lost that accent. Don't you think that'd make a better Bond? The name's Bond, James Bond. Fucking smearing off ice, you prick.
Let's have a look and see whether the new James Bond movie is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the new James Bond film is out this week. Every woman wants him, every man wants to be him, with his steely eyes, incredible physique, and his chiseled features. It's impossible not to look at Sean Locke and think, this guy should be Bond.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Daniel Craig got a gash on his face whilst filming. I suppose that's one of the perks of being Bond, isn't it? OK, one more thing to get. Something happening this week. Go on. Ooh.
Asthma.
Is it?
Is it the asthma? It's gone rocketed up.
Halloween.
Halloween! Yeah. Halloween. Come on, say it with me.
Halloween.
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 Go on.
It's Halloween. And
that's all you can say, really.
Yeah, basically, it's happening. And all the kids come and knock on your door every 5 minutes asking for sweets, which is like a takeaway service for paedophiles. It's a bit weird.
I think what they did was they sat down with all the paedophiles and they agreed that on Halloween they'd have a kind of ceasefire. Say, OK, for one day of the year, can you stop your tampering ways? Let the kids go have a bit of fun, we can all relax.
When I was a kid with trick-or-treating, right, if someone said trick or they didn't answer the door but you knew they were in, right, you would maybe egg their house or, you know, throw a bit of toilet roll through the trees or whatever. But I read the other day that one of the tricks this year is burning people's cars. That's not a trick, that's a crime, isn't it? It's not a trick or military coup.
Let's have a look and see whether Halloween is one of the most talked about things this week.
Got away with that.
Yes, it's Halloween. What a lot of the local kids don't realise is I was planning on covering my house with toilet paper anyway, so the joke's on them. So, those are the 5 most talked about things this week. In other news, they're saying the credit crunch spells a return to the 1970s. Shit, I haven't done my French homework. In sporting news, Harry Redknapp has taken over as manager of Spurs, Tony Adams has been made manager of Portsmouth, and Diego Maradona has been made manager of Nando's. So at the end of that round, Sean, Chris and Nikki have 2 points, Jason, Johnny and Christian have 3 points. So our next round is called Pick of the Polls. Sean, Chris and Nikki, you want to choose first? What would you like the look of?
We'll go for the dog.
OK. Let's have a look at a clip to illustrate your statistic.
First, Elaine enters her special psychic zone, and Ben enters his.
OK. Right, go. Ben, are you happy with what we're doing for you now, sweetheart, to help you? Would you still like me to continue with the Reiki?
Yes, I like Reiki. It's really good what you're doing. I'm very grateful. But do you think you could make time to just have it for me?
And what signal will you give me?
I'll bark and bang your leg with my paw.
Right, I think you're going to have to show me that, Ben, so that I know it's the right signal.
I'm just nice and relaxed at the moment. I'll show it you later. Oh, and by the way, I love you.
Oh, thanks, Ben. You've done it again.
Amazing. Easiest job in the world, isn't it? Pretending to pretend to be able to be a dog. Yeah, like with its owner asking you questions like, what do you like? I like going for a walk and licking my own bollocks and...
OK, 25% of dogs have had alternative therapies, true or false?
What was that? Was Reiki she was doing? Was
that
it?
was Reiki, yeah.
She's telling the owner what the dog needs.
The owner is telling her through the incredible power of being mental what the dog is thinking. I mean mental as in she's got a mental connection with... Yes. I'm not suggesting the woman is mental.
When you get a dog outfit and you just come in and sit there and read a paper in front of your dog, it freaks them out. You do all the like human things, but just dressed as a dog and go, well, just do really very banal human things in front of the dog dressed as a dog, and it drives him mad.
I think, Johnny, though, I think you'll start a craze. Invest in dog suits.
I zip off the dog suit and do like 500,000 years of evolution and become a man. Like
Men
that.
didn't actually evolve from dogs. That's not a thing.
We're evolving into...
Do you know what? 5 stages of evolution, and the one thing that's missing off the beginning is a poodle.
It's dog, Neanderthal man, sort of Cro-Magnon man.
What did
then there's
dogs
like
come
a chicken, and then it carries on into you. Johnny's map of evolution. For about 6 months, we were a chicken!
25% of dogs have had alternative therapies, true or false? What do you think, Sean?
I don't think anyone would do that. I think it's false.
But dog whispering's alternative, right? So I think it could be true.
Do you know, I do a bit of dog whispering. I do dog whispering. Sit down! Sit!
That's spitting, darling.
Oh, sorry.
What do you think, true or false?
False.
You're going false? All right, you guys, what do you think, true or false?
I just think, what are you stressed about? I've never seen a dog that stresses. Every day is the happiest day of its life, isn't it? It just wakes up like, oh, I'm awake! Woo! It's true. You think true? Well, we're going to go with Johnny Vegas.
OK, so you're going true. I can tell you the answer is true. Yes. 25% of dogs have had alternative therapies. OK, Jason, your team to choose. What do you want to go for?
We've got this fat person.
I prefer the term colleague.
Let's go with fat. We know fat. If there's one thing this team knows, it's fat.
OK. You've chosen the fat man. That is a picture of the world's largest man who got married this week, OK? We polled the audience and asked them, if your partner became morbidly obese, would you leave them?
Well, they couldn't follow you, could they? I mean, you could basically pack your bag while they're sat there. You couldn't wait until they go out. You just walk around going, go on, try and grab my leg as I go past you.
If you've married this bloke, and, you know, obviously stage 1 is when you had to have your wedding photos done on Google Earth. You know, I think we've got a problem here, love.
He lost 39 stone to get married. That's a lot of weight to lose, I think.
That's a lot of that.
You'd be annoyed if you're in the same Weight Watchers group as him. Would you leave your partner if they became morbidly obese?
That's the rule. You get fat, you're out.
The best way to do it is to, in your front door, you've got your front door, open the front door, and then have, like, a cutout of a shape that you feel is satisfactory for them to enter the property. And if they can't get through it, I'm sorry, it's the highway.
OK, Jason, I'm going to push you for an answer.
I'm going to go yes.
Yeah. Shit.
I'm not saying I would.
Can I join your team?
Go on, take your chair with you.
Come on.
No, I'm afraid we can't do it. No, not for ballast. I'm afraid we can't.
Hello, how are you, Johnny?
It's good over there!
So you're saying people would leave their partner if they were morbidly obese?
I think so, yeah.
OK, and you're saying, Sean?
No, I think people wouldn't.
OK, well, I can tell you, Sean, you're absolutely right. Our studio audience said no, they wouldn't leave their partner if they became morbidly obese. So an incredibly fat man has tied the knot. He's the world's fattest bridegroom, and she's the world's flattest bride. So at the end of that round, I can tell you it's 3 points for Sean's new team and 4 points for Jason's new team. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your first one. Top topic of conversation while getting drunk.
Oh, now we've lost Johnny Vegas.
I signed him in the transfer window.
Johnny, what do you normally talk about when you're drunk?
Dog suits! And occasionally, the worst funeral you've ever been to.
Have some.
Yeah, I'd have some, yeah.
Wrap it up, you fat bitch.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
for
Oh,
widget.
Got the widget.
Get out.
No, it's a diseased testicle. I operated on myself during the show.
Is the conversation I'm all right to go on this morning?
I can't stand... I've tasted it a couple of times, but lager. I remember my mates going, no, of course you don't like it. Nobody likes it first. You've got to learn to like it. And I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I didn't have to learn to like anything else that I like. Like Jaffa Cakes, bang, first time. I saw the packet and knew I was going to like them.
It's probably sport, isn't it? Something like sport.
That is the right answer.
Oh, well done.
Is it?
Yes, the top topic of conversation whilst drunk is sport. When I stumble in drunk and leering after a night on the town, my girlfriend knows there's only one thing I want, my second Bacardi Breezer. OK, most popular gadget for women.
Etch-a-sketch. Everyone loves an Etch-a-sketch.
Is it the Sky Plus box that doesn't record any of the Brucey bits in Strictly Come Dancing?
Brucey on that. I'd like to think... Because at some stage he's going to die live on a Saturday night. I like that.
Resign.
I'd like to resign. I'm an admirer of Bruce Forsyth. He's a beloved character, and I'd like to resign.
I know what it would be. It'd be a toaster. You put it in bread, shoes come up.
Oh, worse.
Great idea.
What about
Really good idea.
No, I think it is. I think it's an iron with a telly in it.
I'd like to apologise to any women not watching this in the 1970s.
You'd love that, and I'd like that.
Yeah. And a phone as well. Oh, shit!
Even worse.
Bloody got a phone abroad.
I think I know what it is. Hair straighteners.
That is the correct answer from Johnny Vegas. Yes, the most popular gadget for women is hair straighteners. Ironically, hairdressers can make anything straight, apart from themselves. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Jason, Nikki and Christian have 4 points, Sean, Chris and Johnny have 5 points. They've won. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.